Good morning, year 5. Today we're going to continue our exercises about space. And at the beginning, we're going to correct your homework. So let's start together. So your homework was page 72. It was a word search. I think you had fun doing this homework. It's very easy and nothing, just the names of the planets. We're searching for it among all of those letters. So let's start. At the beginning, we are looking for Mercury. So if we just took a quick look, you will find it at the last row down here. So there is Mercury. And then there is Venus. I think it's very obvious. It's just right in front of your eyes, Venus. And then Earth. Earth will be a little bit tricky because it's on the side and it's not next to each other. They are above each other. So this is Earth. And then there is Mars. Mars is right here. Jupiter is in the first row up there. And then there's Saturn, which is right here. Then we have Uranus, which is right here. And then the last thing is Neptune, and Neptune is right here. So we stopped the last time at our live session at this activity. We were talking about Venus, and they gave us some facts about Venus in this table. So let's read it quickly. Venus is 0.3 or 3/10 of an astronomical unit, AU, from Earth, and one astronomical unit is the average distance between Earth to the Sun. So they measured the distance between Earth and Sun, and they called this distance one astronomical unit. So this means that Venus is closer to Earth, of course, than Sun, because it's about 0.3 or 3/10 of a one astronomical unit of the distance between Earth and Sun. The second is Venus is a rocky. We know that the first four planets are rocky planets, and the last two, or the bigger ones, are made of gas. So Venus is a rocky planet about the size of the same size as Earth. The gravity is 90% of that of Earth. So its gravity is a little bit less than that of Earth. A day on Venus, one rotation of the planet is equal to 117 days on Earth. So this means that it rotates really, really slowly. The atmosphere of Venus is mostly carbon dioxide, and this what causes the fact that Venus is the hottest planet among all of the other planets. The surface temperature can get hot enough to melt lead, so it can actually melt some of the metals of Earth. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is about the same as more than 1/2 mile below the surface of Earth ocean. So this is the atmospheric pressure is the pressure that the atmosphere or the surrounding envelope around the planet causes, and it is very high, or the atmospheric pressure is very high when it comes near to Earth. So this is just an extra info. You have to know about it detailed now. You will know about it later. Venus has no water. It also has no moons. So we had here a bunch of questions, and we're going to answer them. What did you learn? Number 1, why does Venus have the hottest surface temperatures of any planet in our solar system? We talked about this in our live session, and again we read it just right now. We know that Venus' atmosphere is made of carbon dioxide, and this traps the sun heat, causing it to be the hottest planet. The next one is the gravity of Venus is 90% of the gravity on Earth. What would you weigh on Venus? So I think you took something related to gravity last year in year 4. So I just want to refresh your memory that gravity on Earth is 9.8, and we sometimes estimate it to make it easier for us to make some calculations to 10, but we're going to go with 9.8. So the gravity on Earth equals 9.8. Um, and we said that in order to measure the weight, or in order to calculate the weight of something, you have to multiply the mass of this thing times the gravity of the planet that you are on. So let's now see what I just wrote. I said that I just stated that the gravity on Earth is 9.8. So this means that the gravity on Venus, it's supposed to be 90% of the 9.8. So we're going to multiply 9.8 times 90%. You can use your calculator or mobile or whatever. Just calculate or multiply 9.8 times 90%. The result will be 8.82. So this is the gravity on Venus. If I want to measure my weight, first I have to know my mass. So my mass is the reading that I see on my scale. So I'm 60 kilograms, for example, and this will make my weight on Venus. I have to multiply my mass times the gravity on Venus. 60 times 8.82 equals 529.82. And we said that the weight is last year we said that the weight is a type of force, so we're going to measure it with Newton. I just don't want you to worry about all of those calculations. You're not going to be tested with this. It's just for as an extra information. So let's do the next question. We have used probes to gather some information on Venus. Why do the probes last only a few hours? So I think it's very obvious that it's a very hot planet, and anything that will land on this planet will be melted. So it could be melting due to high heat, of course. What would the probe need to survive on Venus for more than a few hours? Um, it There are many things that could be done. For example, we could use a specific heat shield that withstands the high heat for a while until we can take enough pictures or enough taping of the planet. So now let's do page 70. It says Martin is making a model of the Earth, Sun, and Moon. He collects some objects that can be used to model the Earth, Sun, and Moon. So he collected what? He brought a melon and a bee and a poppy seed. Write Earth, Sun, and Moon in the table below to show what each object should model. So we have to know what each of those objects represent in our solar system. If we're talking about the Earth, Sun, and Moon, we have to know what are those things represents. So apparently the melon is the biggest among all of them, so this for sure will represent the Sun, of course. And then there is the pea, and the pea is smaller than the melon but bigger than the poppy seed, so this will make the pea, of course, the Earth. And last but not least is the poppy seed, which is the smallest among all of them, and that will make the poppy seed the Moon. The next question says, what shape are the Earth, Sun, and Moon in space? So we know that the Earth, Sun, and Moon is a ball, or we call it more of a scientific name, we call it a sphere. The next question says Martin uses his model to show what causes day and night. How can Martin show what causes day and night using his model? So the answer will be, just let's read all of them. Spin the earth on its axis, spin the sun on its axis, move the earth around the sun, or move the sun around the earth. So we know that the sun doesn't move around the earth, of course, and spinning of the sun will not affect the earth by any means. But if it moved, the moving of the earth around the sun is the four seasons, so this will make the spinning of the earth on its axis causing day and night. So this would be the answer. The next question says, complete the sentence below about the moon's orbit. The moon orbits the earth once every, do you remember the number? Every 28 days, yes. The next one, Martin shines a torch on a globe. So he shines the torch on the globe. It models the sun shining on the earth. Estimate what time of day it would be on the earth at place A. So I want you to pay attention to how he is shining the torch. He is shining the torch directly to point A. So it's like the sun is right above this area or high up in the sky in this area. They even gave us did for us point B and C. Point B will be 6 p.m. and point C will be 9 p.m. Let's see the distance between the dots. So between B and C is smaller than that between A and B, and it's about half of the distance between A and B. The distance between B and C is about half the distance between A and B. And between A, B and C, only 3 hours apart. Point B and point C are only 3 hours apart. And since between A and B, the distance between A and B is double the distance between B and C, so this means that the distance between, or the timing between A and B, the difference in timing will be about 6 hours, and that will make point A, the time at point A is 12 p.m. This is your homework, guys, page 73. It's a reading homework, so you're supposed to be reading your closer look book, pages 422 to page 429, and then you can answer it. It's a very, very easy one, and you will be able to answer it directly. I will be seeing you next week, inshallah. Until then, have a nice weekend and stay safe. Bye bye.